On this episode, we talk to our hospice of South Central Indiana, and we tell you all about this year's hospice concert. Are you ready to celebrate?
Whoa.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another hashtag Celebrate Columbus show. My name is Josh Burnett, and I'm super excited about today's episode. But I got to be honest, I'm a little bit bittersweet, and here's why. I'll go with the sweet first. The sweet is because our Hospice of South Central Indiana is an amazing organization in our community that takes care of our loved ones in some of the last moments of their lives and support families who need support during that time. They really need help. And they're such an amazing organization. Every single person who works at the hospice center or works for hospice in general and goes to people's homes, they're angels. They're amazing people who are there for us in our time of need. The bitter is because my family personally has been to the hospice center. My grandfather passed away there a couple of years ago, and it was tough as we did this episode just to look back over the last couple of years, and it was the first time that I'd been there back in the facility since he passed away. And so, it's just a reminder that all of us here, our time on earth is limited, but at the same time, while we're here, it's really important to have people in our lives who can support us through the ups and downs of life. And so I just want to say a big thank you to our Hospice of South Central Indiana. I'm very thankful for the role that you've played in my life and my family's life. Thank you for the way that you do that for so many people around the Bartholomew County and South Central Indiana area. So to come back on a happier note, I'm very excited about this episode because many of you are aware of hospice. You just don't know why. Many people understand that they throw one of the best parties of the year with the hospice concert, and that's going to be coming up very soon, and we want to invite everyone to come to that. We're really excited about it. We're going to be there. Blue Oyster Cult's going to be there. Such a great band. And I really hope that through this episode of the show, you'll learn a little bit more about who hospice is and what they're doing in our community. So one more time, I want to say thank you to our Hospice of South Central Indiana for the way that you care for so many people in Bartholomew County and the Columbus area. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy this edition of the hashtag Celebrate Columbus show. What is hospice?
Hospice is an organization which is part of the healthcare continuum that provides care for patients and their families in the last part of their journey. Meaning it's when patients and their physicians come to the conclusion that curative treatment may not be the best option for a family. And what hospice does is provide a series of services. A lot of disciplines come into place when hospice is chosen, not only the physician, but also the nurse, and the services of a social worker, and the help of a spiritual support in the form of a chaplain and home health aides. So in a sense, hospice comes into the life of a family when curative treatment is no longer an option, but the option becomes, finding what that quality of life can be in the last part of the journey of a person and the family, and what the goals might be for this part, for this aspect of taking care of your health at the last part of your life.
Where does hospice provide services?
Hospice is actually a service that is provided in the home or in the place where the patient resides. So it would not surprise you to find out that the majority of our patients actually live in their homes and they are being cared for by a family member. What hospice does is bring that next layer of people, of helpers to the family, to the caregivers and the patient. So hospice is a service that's provided in the home where the patient resides. Many of our patients actually do reside in facilities, what we call nursing homes, or extended care facilities, assisted care facilities too. And then some of our patients do come in our inpatient facility, but it is not a residential place. It is not a long-term arrangement for patients that come into our facility. It is really reserved for our patients that need intensive care, intensive management of symptoms that cannot be taken care of in the home. But really, the majority of our patients are at home, wherever they like. Which really it comes down to the fact that when patients choose to have no more treatment, they really like to be at home. Receiving care in the hospital is a really nice thing, but when you're really wanting to get, the higher quality of life, at the end of the journey, we find that patients want to be at home.
What is it like working for hospice?
Working at hospice is, I'd like to always say that it's, sounds like a cliche, but it is much more than a job. People who work at hospice, starting with any person that you see in our organization, it is not like a job. It's a calling that people have, because it is a very difficult job. It's difficult because we work with families when they're approaching a time in their lives where sometimes it's a crisis, sometimes it's just a sad time. But the people who work at hospice, and what I find really energizing and exciting about working at hospice, is that we really do get an opportunity to make a big difference in the life of these families. At our Hospice of South Central Indiana, we have a very special mission statement, and we like for our employees to all really know it by heart. And our mission is to make every moment count by surrounding our patients and families with respectful and compassionate care for as long as we can.
What's special about hospice?
The most special thing about hospice, actually there are several, but one of them is that we are a not-for-profit organization. We consider ourselves very lucky that in our communities we're very respected. First of all, because we have been here for a very long time. We were founded in 1980. We've been here for over 30-some years. And all this time we have been providing our communities with that type of care that I mentioned just earlier, but actually too on a not-for-profit basis. We provide care to patients and families regardless of their ability to pay. You might know already that hospice is a reimbursed service anymore, and we do receive reimbursement from the normal sources, Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, but we also will provide our services to anyone that has no insurance coverage. Another special thing about our hospice is that we cover a very large area. We serve 16 counties in the surrounding area. We have 2 additional offices, one besides Columbus, one in North Vernon and one in Greensburg. And from those offices, we deployed our staff to the patients in any locations where our patients live.
How does hospice serve so many people?
Hospice is obviously a 24-hour service, so it really becomes challenging how to cover all that area that I mentioned. 16 counties is a large area. So hospices are measured by the number of patients we serve on a daily basis. We are the largest not-for-profit hospice in our area, and we're the only one that has an inpatient facility, especially an inpatient facility as beautiful as ours, which, by the way, was really a combined effort of all the communities and the people we serve. This hospice facility was built with the help of a lot of our friends and our patients and families in our area. So the size that we serve about 250 patients every day. And I just said our inpatient facility only has 14 rooms, so it mustn't be understood that we only have 14 patients. We have about 250 on a regular basis. We have 150 employees and about the same number of volunteers. A couple of other very important things about our hospice is that we work with our volunteers very closely. Some of our volunteers are able to help us with the care of our patients. They visit with our patients. They do their hobby or help the patients for a little while, visit with them while the family might be doing something like going to the grocery store if the patient is able enough to stay by himself with the volunteer. But we also have volunteers that come into our offices. They help a lot with our clerical tasks. And we have a lot of volunteers when it comes time for our fundraising events, which I know we can talk about our fundraising here in a moment, but it's really, really important for us to understand the role of our volunteers. One special group of volunteers is our veterans. At Hospice, we have a really important service which is called We Honor Veterans. And that is a program by which our staff is prepared to understand the needs of the veteran patients, which sometimes have special needs, especially when it comes to the end of life. The veteran experience has been one that we find is very sensitive, and so our program honors the veterans that we have in our patients, in our patient base, and we provide a special ceremony, recognition, and thanks for their service.
What is the role of the hospice concert?
In order for us to be able to provide the services to anyone who needs them, regardless of their ability to pay, just like I mentioned earlier, we have to do some fundraising. We depend greatly on the generosity of our donors. We do a lot of work on philanthropy, and we really enjoy the fact that we have a really good and solid base of donors. But we also have to do some fundraising events, and those turn out to be really good opportunities for us to not only deploy our message so that our communities understand a little more about hospice, about the services, how to obtain the services of hospice and how does it work, but it really also helps us establish that relationship with the communities at large. So our fundraising events take place, we have 2 or 3 during the year, but the most important and largest is our concert in the summer. That's a tradition that started 30 years ago. In fact, this year is our 31st concert. And it was started as a fundraising event, but really started as a thank you to our communities for the support that they provide us constantly, and for the ability they give us to provide this service to people in our communities. The concert started as a thank you, and it really turns out into an opportunity for us to spread our message and really appeal to our communities to understand that for us to exist, we also need the help of our communities. This is the 31st, the very first one. The Glenn Miller Orchestra was playing, so you can understand how long ago that was. And we have been evolving through the years and trying to improve the way that we present our concert. We like to think of our concert as an opportunity to just interact with the community. We feel like we can provide an opportunity for a great big picnic in the park. And this community is amazing about it. We're so excited about the concert coming up. It really is an opportunity for us to really relate to the people that we serve and give them an opportunity to understand what we do and help us, because it is a fundraiser and more.
Who is the headliner at this year's hospice concert?
This year we have invited a group that is a little different. We've been upgrading, or so we think, the type of music that we present to our communities. We love it when the music is appropriate for all ages, and we are bringing a group that's a little bit different than what we've been having. So it's Blue Oyster Cult, and the opening act will be by an Indianapolis group called the Wombleys, which have been really popular in the area. We like to kind of start out with a local group and then move up to the big act. We're really excited because I think it will be an amazing opportunity for us to have a great time at the park.
How can the community support hospice?
The community has a great opportunity to help us in the way that we provide an opportunity to purchase raffle tickets. That's the big fundraising part. The concert is free. We really encourage people to come out with their blankets, with their chairs, with their picnic basket, and choose a place to sit down. And then we offer the opportunity to buy raffle tickets. Some lucky person that evening is going to win $10,000. And the tickets are only $10 a piece. We hope that we can sell all the tickets we have. So we really encourage people to, ahead of the concert and during the concert, up to the moment that the concert ends, purchase raffle tickets. There's also an opportunity which is really an amazing thing. A local artist, Donna Rosenberg, which is a painter, an artist that paints, has provided for the third time now a creation for a painting that we can auction in a live auction. The auction started already, and we encourage people to take a look at the art anyway, because it is always really appropriate to the artists that we are bringing for the music. And then lastly, obviously, there's opportunities for donations, to add donations and the capacity that people are able to give. And one important tradition during the concert are the homemade cookies. Our community comes out. There are many people in our community who prepare for this, and they bake cookies. Our volunteers package them, and then you are able to contribute to our cause by purchasing those cookies too. One other way that our communities can support us is by purchasing the T-shirts, which they have become a tradition also. We have had 30 concerts. This is our 31st. And there are people who have 30 T-shirts. They have purchased them every time. We've made a little change this year in which we are selling the T-shirts with the help of Hoosier Sporting Goods. So they need to be ordered in advance. We will not have them at the concert as we did traditionally, but the help of Hoosier Sporting Goods is really great for us. So order your T-shirts ahead of time, and you could continue your collection. And then finally, one other amazing thing that our sponsor Forcia does is really engage their employees in supporting our effort. They hold a competition by which teams of their employees construct and manufacture a grill, an outdoor grill. They actually have 4 for us this year, and they're amazing. They're creations that are really an amazing thing to have in your backyard if that's something that you want. And the tickets can be purchased already. At the farmers market, we always have one of those grills on display. They can be purchased here in our hospice also, and at the day of the concert too. Those grills will be raffled out also at the end of the concert, and it is just a real good way of engaging not only our sponsors but our community in supporting us. One last thing to mention is that at our hospice we really have an intention here lately, and it is part of our mission to ensure that our communities, our families that we serve, understand more about what hospice is and what hospice can do for your family, and encourage people to really talk about, how do you want to plan the last part of your life. Hospice is an amazing service. It could be very, very good for you and for your family, and it is something that you get the most benefit when you engage hospice early in the process. We really enjoy getting to know the families and really offering the service that we can provide them, and the sooner our goal is to provide our service to families for as long as we can. So we like for them to think about hospice as early as you can. So there's an opportunity to engage one of our experts and just having an informational session to understand what hospice can be. Many people have fear about engaging hospice, and that shouldn't really be a matter of fear. We encourage people to understand what hospice is and what a benefit it could be for you and your family.